Friends to this thing. Like my broadcast. I don't even know. Cause I'm a retarded person. And I have freedom. Yes, I have freedom. Oh my god, chill out. Oh my god. Frick. Oh my god. It sounds like you just escaped from prison, I swear. Chill out, boy. Bruh, those don't even sound like your brothers. They sound like...
I know.
Wait, what? Wait, talk? Wait, what? You don't even... Wait, are you his brother? The guy I was just talking to, brother?
No, this is still me right now.
Then why is your voice so different?
Why isn't my voice so different?
Wait, hold on. Wait, hold on. Who's in the party? Wait, Oh, yeah, I was about to say, what? Your voice is different, but it's just you. I thought it was, I don't even know how to say, as sad brat, as sapped. Nick 830. Boom. How do I invite people to my broadcast? Like more people, do you know? Oh my. Can you stop inviting me? -1, that's 5. Quick maths. Quick meds. Here, I
got 8 days to get more V-Bucks.
If you subscribe, I will give you all my V-Bucks for free. I don't know. I hate the YouTube channels. Like, if you subscribe and turn on notifications, you will get like 5 V-Bucks. So I'm like
who needs 5 V-Bucks? I mean, like 1,000 V-Bucks. Yeah. 5 V-Bucks. No.
Bruh. Cowboy sense. Hold on, I'm gonna join something. Boom. Alright then, bye. Dr. Phil. Huh.
What the heck? Steady storm? No. Guys, are golfers back?
I don't know. Oh, I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Hold on. I'm gonna be back later. Hello. Dude, I just told you, don't invite me. I'm doing something. Don't you ever listen? No, don't do it. Oh my god, just stop.
I'm not doing it anymore. I'm seriously not doing it. It's just backed up, dude. Once I did it to my friends, over and over.
There, I turned notifications off so I don't see them. Alright, hold on, I'll be back later. Oh.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another Not yet, at least. I'll make sure to put the thing up. He has many people pull out knives on him. One time, someone in Dallas, Texas, took out a gun and shot him 3 times. It was right in the chest with a 9mm handgun. His crew immediately feared for their lives and said, whoa, it's a prank, it's a prank. Put the gun away, god damn. 911 was called and he was rushed to the hospital. Some people say that this whole thing was actually a hoax. It could be fake. This is just a way that Tyrone is using to try to get more views, get on the news. But I don't know, it kind of seems real. He has pictures of himself at the hospital, all bandaged up, and it's very believable. Do you guys think it's a hoax? Let me know in the comment section below. Okay, another prank that went too far is the Sam Pepper prank. He comes into number 9. This guy is going to appear a few times on this list because he just goes too far. Sam Pepper has been doing a lot of pranks like how to make out with strangers, fake hand pinch prank. He has handcuffed himself to girls until they kissed him. He's even put leashes on girls. Well, because of all these videos that he's been doing, he was actually banned from YouTube for a period of time. And now he faces sexual harassment claims. He could be going to jail. A lot of women have said Sam Pepper has touched them inappropriately. He would force himself on them. Lacey Green, who is a YouTuber fighting against Sam Pepper, she made a video called Sam Pepper Exposed. She wants these women to come forward and stand up for their rights. Hundreds of thousands of people right now signed this petition to ban him from YouTube. He has everything wrong with YouTube. Some of these pranks are just not worth doing. Okay, moving on to some of the biggest understand. This shockingly comes in summary. And we're talking about Roman Atwood, really good guy, but he went a little bit too far sometimes. He pretended to kill his son right in front of the kid's mom, Brittany. Well, this prank we're talking about is called Killing My Own Kid Prank. 37 million views with thousands of thumbs down. So what happened was, Roman was like fighting his son that was in like a Spider-Man water. She goes downstairs. Roman then switches out the kid. He goes into the closet and out comes this like fake Spider-Man thing that looks like the son. As Brittany was coming upstairs with the water, Roman was playing with him and accidentally kicked him over the banister and fell. And Brittany was freaking out this time. She was terrified. She was screaming. She was yelling. She was crying. No moms deserve to be pranked when it comes to their babies. Too far, Roman. In at number 7, we have the Chainsaw Massacre prank that's very graphic. This was uploaded to Vitali's ZDTV. It has more than 42 million views. This guy chases people around with a chainsaw and And look how real this looks. This guy is cut in half, and there's blood everywhere, and a woman walks into that. This would be the craziest thing I've ever seen. And what if someone got so scared that they just like stopped to breathe, they had like a heart attack or something? The most thumbs up comment in this video was, "This prank is brutal." I wonder if anyone called the cops. Now at number 6, we have the girlfriend getting killed prank. And this video received around 5.7 million views. So let me explain what happens. We have this one buddy, he uses his girlfriend in the prank. She gets into a box, waits for his friend to come home, and his girlfriend's gonna jump out of the box and scare the crap out of him. Well, his girlfriend wanted to actually get back at him. So this prank is a reversal prank. So his friend is involved in this prank, and when it's time for the guy's girlfriend to pop out of the box, his friend had a glass bottle that's fake, but you can just smash it, it doesn't hurt. But when she jumps out, he was gonna hit her in the head, and she was gonna pass out and die. So the prank went to plan, and the guy was freaking out. He was saying, "What did you just do?" He thinks his girlfriend is dead in this box. He's telling his buddy to call 911. Okay, so a guy pulls out a gun, and this comes into number 5. This prank is called Girlfriend Caught Cheating Prank Gone Wrong. Boyfriend goes crazy with gun. I'm not really sure why you would keep a video like this onto the internet, but in this prank, this girl wants to prank her boyfriend. She set it up where he walked in on her in the bedroom with this guy who he seems to know. The boyfriend was asking, "What's going on?" And the girlfriend said, "It's not what you think. It's not what you think." Then he leaves the bedroom and he comes back with a gun. Is this real life right now? What the heck is going on? The girlfriend's trying to like calm his down. And when it looked like he was actually gonna pull the trigger, that's when they broke character and said, "Stop, this is a prank. Are you crazy?" So the boyfriend in the video said, "Are you serious? I almost killed this guy." So we now have this video on the internet of you attempted murder. You almost killed someone and you just admitted it. Okay, so what got even more out of hand is an actual death because of a prank, and sadly this comes into number 4. 17-year-old Sergei Kasper was the subject of a stunt involving him being pranked by his classmates. This whole thing was caught on camera. The classmates took film, wrapped his arms, wrapped his legs until he couldn't move. They brought him to the back of the classroom where the teacher's desk was. That's where he fell, hitting his throat on the desk. His classmates were laughing so much in this video. But by the time they realized that this whole thing is serious, he was already in critical condition. 911 was immediately called, an ambulance came, but he was later pronounced dead. This is a really sad and tragic story and just a stupid prank. Okay, so continuing this list, in at number 3, we have a Kentucky kid who accidentally hung himself pretending to be like a Halloween decoration in order to scare his younger sister. The team was identified 16-year-old Jordan Moreland, who hung himself to a tree. He wasn't moving when his sister found him. In fact, he went into a coma. The sister then ran inside, screaming, telling the mom that her brother is hanging from a tree dead. Paramedics rushed the boy to a local hospital where he was placed on life support, and he died the next morning from organ failure. This happened 12 hours after the accident. And at number 2, it's probably one of the most controversial prank videos, and it was recently put up. So this is another Sam Pepper prank. The same guy who is facing sexual harassment charges. Well, the prank video I'm talking about is called Killing My Best Friend, where Sam Pepper and another Sam was gonna prank his friend Kobe. Okay, so there was a fake kidnapping where Kobe was tied up and put into the back of the car. They drove around and brought him to a rooftop, where Sam Pepper had a mask on and a gun pointed to Sam. And Sam Pepper pulled the trigger, killing Kobe's friend right in front of him. Kobe then went crazy. He was crying and bawling because he knows that his life is next. And he just lost his best friend right in front of him. He was shot in the head. He was so terrified that he just couldn't look at his friend right there. He was just so heartbroken. But when it was time to reveal that this is a prank, he was still freaking out, although his friend came back to life, pulled off the mask, and said this is a prank. This received much hate. Hundreds of thousands of people have to ban this from YouTube. They want him to take it down. Even Anonymous, the hacking group, wants this video down. People were thumbsing down this video so much that Sam Pepper decided to disable it. Okay, so finally, we're in at the number 1 spot. But first, let's quickly recap what we've had. We've had a YouTuber who forces himself onto girls. We've had Tyrone who got shot 3 times. A teenager accidentally hung himself. And just now, we had a best friend murder prank that went way too far. Okay, in at number 1, we have the Revenge 10 organ theft prank. And this video got a ton of hate. It's so ridiculous to put someone into this predicament. So the person at the beginning of the video was pretty much explaining what he was doing. He created this fake getting pranked, walks into the hotel room, and watches the newscast. Thinking nothing of it, the two go out at night clubbing. And that's when the prankster put sleeping pills into his drink. When he passed out, they brought him back to the room where he was left in a tub full of ice. So the guy wakes up and sees blood everywhere and a vacuum hose attached to his stomach area with what looks to be an organ on the toilet. He starts to freak out. I mean, he just got ripped open, someone's stealing his organ, he's left for dead, what is going on? And then a doctor comes in. Well, that was the person that was pranking him, and when it was time to reveal, you know, this is so funny, this is all fake, the guy at the top was like just freaking out still. He's in shock. He's never gonna forget this moment. He's gonna have nightmares for life. This is a horrible prank. This one went way too far. So let me know what top 10 you guys want to see next, and what pranks do you guys think went...
Yo, check out this new song I'm into. That song's so old. Welcome back, guys. A lot of students want to these. I'm planning to take his arms and they would think he's groaning. As the last students left, the teacher went to get a picture of the principal. She called out his name. There was no answer. It was then that she realized he had tripped on the floor decorations. The rope had slipped from his arms up to his neck and he had actually died from strangulation. Next up at number 9, we have the story of Horatio Chappelle, a 17-year-old student who went on a school trip to Norway in 2011. The area was known for bears, but the leaders of the trip were pretty experienced. One morning at 7:30 a.m., the group was still asleep. The warning system they set up around their camp failed to detect any intruder. Suddenly, Horatio's tent was ripped open, and there stood a huge polar bear. He barely had any time to move before the bear dragged him out across the snow, smashing his head against a rock. As the rest of the camp woke up, they left their tents just in time to see the bear slam again into Horatio. They did eventually kill the bear, but it was too late for him. Coming out number 8 now, we have a story from the YouTube channel Mr. Nightmare. One of his subscribers, in his first year of high school, he went on a school trip to an activity resort. He went with his friend Landon, and on the first day, they did go-karting, rock climbing, and all that stuff before going to bed that night. Their ground floor room had a sliding door with a view to the lake. At 10 p.m., when it was dark, they went to bed and left the blinds on the sliding door open. He fell asleep, but was woken an hour later when Landon screamed. At the window was a tall, skinny old woman with long grey hair just staring through the window. She walked away, leaving them in shock. At the end of the next day, they fell asleep again, but he woke up to silence and just a strange feeling looming over him. He looked over to Landon to see if he was awake, but he couldn't see him. There was just black. He realized something was blocking his vision of the other bed. Not something, someone. He looked up, and there was the old woman standing over him. She quickly left, and they did too the very next morning. At number 7 now, this story starts with a New York high school who had recently suffered the loss of a 17-year-old student who had died in a car crash. Now, the school's forensic science club went on a trip not long after to a morgue to study how they preserve organs. One of the students looked at the name tag on a jar that had a human brain in it, and to their horror, they realized it was their classmate's brain who had recently died. His parents thought they had buried him with all of his organs, but the morgue had actually kept his brain for further study without even telling them. They were sued for emotionally traumatizing the students who saw the brain. Alright, coming in at number 6 now, we have a story from backpackverse.com from a woman who says that when she was a kid, she went on a nature walk school trip. They were split into groups of 10 for the walk as the teachers talked about nature and the history of the area they were in. She hung back, and then suddenly, Victorian-looking school children burst out of the trees laughing, and they had a white glow all around them. One of them, a girl, said, "Hello, would you like to play?" But she was paralyzed with fear. She couldn't answer. The girl took her by the hand and into the woods. They got to a cave which was full of these ghostly children. She said they brought her there to be initiated into their family. It was then that she decided to run away, and they screamed, "Get her!" She didn't stop running until she reached her teacher, and although she could still see the children in the trees, she knew she was safe. Alright, next up at number 5 now, we have a story that will definitely scare any parents watching. In 2011, students at Lowell Elementary School in Seattle went on a school trip that needed parents to help chaperone the kids alongside the teachers. Now, during the trip, one of the parents recognized another chaperone, and then suddenly it dawned on her. He was on Washington's Most Wanted. He had been all over the TV after being arrested more than 20 times as a high violence offender, and he was wanted by police. He was also the parent of one of the girls on that trip. He went on the run again. The school ended up going into lockdown, but he did eventually surrender, much to the relief of the other parents. Moving on to number 4. In 1986, Oregon Episcopal School went on a wilderness experience trip to climb Mount Hood. As the group climbed the mountain, the weather started to get really bad. They turned around but were caught in a severe snowstorm and decided their only option to survive was to dig out a cave in the snow for shelter until the storm passed. They had just one shovel. The rest of them used their hands. It took them, they found 3 of the students frozen in the snow halfway down the mountain. Revived them. They then got to the shelter and found only 2 of them alive. One of them ended up making a full recovery, but the other had to have both their legs amputated due to frostbite. At number 3 now, we have another story from Mr. Nightmare about a kid who took a field trip to a rural zoo. After looking at the animals outside for a while, they entered a large building that contained animal taxidermies, all frozen in position. He snuck off to the bathroom without telling his teacher. When he came back out, he walked along the dimly lit halls, picturing the animals moving in life, before seeing a man hidden behind a stack of chairs at the very back. The man came out and asked, "Where is the route?" The boy said, "I don't know." The man then grabbed his hand and led him to an exit door and into the woods outside. The boy pulled back and the man pulled harder. Finally, a teacher saw them and screamed. The man let go and ran into the woods. The teachers saved the boy. The trip was then obviously cancelled, but as they left on the bus, he said he looked back out into the woods and saw the man crouching and smiling behind a tree. Coming at number 2 now. In 2005, Joseph Lister went with his school to visit some caves in Yorkshire, England. As he explored the caves underground, the teacher decided to bring the group back to the surface because of rising water levels. When they got to the surface, the teacher turned around to find that Joseph was gone. The water kept rising and rising. The teacher called for help and 2 rescue teams came.
Wait, dance if you can hear me.
50 meters into the flooded cave. He was rushed to hospital, but died 5 hours later with his parents by his side. And finally, at number 1 now. In 1976, 26 children aged 5 to 14 were on their way back from a swimming pool field trip in California when the driver stopped to see if a car that had broken down needed any help. Suddenly, 3 masked men stormed onto the bus with guns. They drove the children and the bus driver around for 11 hours before eventually stopping at a quarry. They then loaded them into with a tiny bit of food, some water, and some mattresses to sleep on. The kidnappers then went off to go and make their ransom demands, but the phone lines were too full from all the media calls and the families looking for their children. In that time, the bus driver managed to stack up the mattresses, allowing them to climb up to the top of the quarry and escape. Amazingly, all of them were fine and lived to tell this terrifying tale. Alright guys, like I always say in every scary video I do, things like this.
Hello and welcome back to the most amazing Today we're creepy and freaky as we talk about the top 10 times people woke up at their funeral. Whoa, what a video title. Before we get into the video, I just want to shout out our sister channel, Life's Biggest Questions, which I also host for. We cover loads of science questions like what if the Earth was sucked into a black hole, and loads of history questions like what if Hitler had won World War II. If that sounds like your bag, then join us over there for some very big answers. But back to this video. Preparing to say goodbye to a loved one is sad and intense at the same time. Imagine you in the process of saying goodbye, your loved one wakes up. Frightening, but good, but scary. Join us as we talk about 10 people who seemingly did just that. Coming in at number 10, this 3-year-old child woke up at her own funeral in the Philippines. In 2014, a 3-year-old Filipino girl appeared to wake up at her own funeral. Video footage was shot on a camera phone of one of the guests attending the funeral service and was then posted on YouTube. The footage was watched over 15 million times. It is pretty sad though, as although it did seem like the toddler woke up, it was actually a rare muscle spasm and she was indeed dead all along. Sadly, a quack doctor at the funeral said that she was alive, so her parents took her home only to find out that she was still very much dead. Another sad story at number 9, this 2-year-old boy woke up at his own funeral in Brazil and asked for a drink. The boy had died the day before of pneumonia. Hours before he was to be buried, he sat up in his coffin and said, "Daddy, can I have some water?" He then lay back down lifeless and was declared dead a second. His parents do not know what happened and what caused the sudden life relapse, but sadly it was fleeting. His funeral was delayed by an hour amid the confusion, but was eventually completed. This man woke up only to find his whole family were having his funeral without him. We have Gilberto Alfio at number 8. Gilberto woke up one day to discover that his whole family was dead. There had been a murder in the Brazilian town that he was living in, and sadly a car washer had been killed. 41-year-old Gilberto was indeed a car washer, but it seems the victim had been someone who closely resembled him. His brother even identified the body, claiming it was his sibling. The body was returned to his mother, and the funeral was taking place as Gilberto walked in to tell his family he was actually alive. It seems that people were very, very, very shocked. While it was a happy day for his family, sadly there was still a dead body who belonged to somebody else's family out there. What is worse, waking up at your own funeral or waking up during your own autopsy? Ask Carlos Cameo, who did just that. This is coming in at number 7. In 2007, Carlos was declared dead after a highway accident in Caracas, Venezuela. However, he woke up while he was being cut into during his autopsy. What a rude awakening. He said, "I woke up because the pain was unbearable." As his wife arrived to identify his body, she found her husband waiting for her in the corridor. After Carlos recovered, he had his picture taken in the newspaper holding his autopsy request document. A similar story at 6. This Polish man died from drinking too much vodka, only to wake up in a morgue and then return to the pub. Nostravie. 25-year-old Kamil fell ill at a tavern in Kamina Gora, Poland. He collapsed and an ambulance was called and he was pronounced dead. His friends kept drinking as they mourned his passing. Meanwhile, Kamil woke up in a chilly morgue fridge. He made noises until a guard came to rescue him, after which time he asked for a blanket. Rising up from the dead, he was checked over and released from hospital. He went home via the pub to surprise his friends. Some gossy drama here at number 5. This woman turned up to her own funeral after her husband's assassination attempt on her life failed. In 2015, Belenga Kalala tried to have his wife Noella murdered. This is while she attended her stepmother's funeral in Burundi. Noella was abducted, but her captors had a change of heart when they realized it was her husband who wanted her dead and how upset she was about it. Noella returned to Australia where her and her husband lived and turned up to her own funeral to accuse him of her murder. He was later arrested and sent to jail, which is totally fair. Noella said that she was standing up like a strong woman. Honey, come at them. A ye oldie but a ye happy story at number 4. In Braffing, Hertfordshire, England, residents celebrate 2 things. 1, their famous pork sausages, and Old Man's Day, the day a local farmer rose from the dead at his own funeral. On the 2nd of October 1571, Matthew Wall was lying supposedly dead in his coffin as he was being carried to the funeral. One of the pallbearers slipped on a wet leaf and dropped the coffin, waking Matthew. He then banged on his coffin and was like, "Excuse me, let me out." It seems that he had fallen into a coma after an epileptic fit, but he had woken up feeling fine. He then lived over 2 more decades and married Pia following his near-death experience. This is a terrifying story at number 3. This Russian woman woke up at her own funeral and then died from the shock. Excuse me while I pronounce this. 49-year-old Fagilu Mukhamyetsanov was declared dead in 2011. As her funeral was taking place, she started screaming in her coffin, realizing she was about to be buried alive. The shock was too much for the woman, who then had a heart attack and died. Her husband was distraught, saying doctors could and should have been more careful and that they could have saved her, which, yeah, fair. This teenager woke up on the way to his own funeral at number 2. 17-year-old Kumar Merwed was bitten by a stray dog and ran a high fever. Doctors at the Indian hospital he was admitted to told his parents that he was going to die if he was taken off life support. The teenager's family told the doctors to take him off the life support and then took his body home as he was presumed dead. Fortunately for Kumar, as he was on his way to his own funeral, he opened his eyes and wiggled his arms and legs. He was taken to an
Who are you?
and put on a ventilator. It turns out
Are you Bad Bones' friend?
infections from the dog bite and needed further treatment, but he was very much
Are you my friend?
Finally, at number 1, I am all about this story. This 95-year-old grandma woke up in her coffin, climbed out, and started making lunch.
No, you're not my friend.
What I would do if I woke up.
You're Bad Bones' friend then.
Done with this, I'm hungry.
Alright, there we go. We have a squad.
Shu Fen suffered a head injury at her home in Guangxi province. She was in a coffin, which was unsealed as to allow for visitors to pay their last respects. The day before her funeral, as family members were congregating to view her corpse, they found her casket empty. They then looked everywhere for the OAP's body, but then they found her cooking lunch in her kitchen. She told her family, "I slept for a long time. After waking up, I felt so hungry and wanted to cook something to eat." Once again, first, doctors say that she suffered an artificial death. Lee may have woken up before she, but her possessions had already been burned at a China ahead of the funeral. Really dark romp with several sad endings. Intense. Guys, let me know what is your biggest fear.
Okay, so I do enjoy a lot of the videos almost made in top 10, but some of them are just really hard to get through, and this one is the top 10 cruelest execution style. There's a lot to take in on this one, so get ready and just brace yourself. But there's a lot of learning as well, so it's gonna be fun. I'll try and make it fun for you guys. So throughout history, people have devised some pretty torturous and gruesome methods of execution. Burning our way into number 10 is burning at the stake. Many societies have used this execution method on people who were convicted of treason, rebellion, heresy, witchcraft, and sexual transgression. This execution style involves the victim being tied to a large wooden stake and set on fire. And the flames were large because many of the prisoners would be executed at the same time. Death was often caused by carbon monoxide poisoning before the flames would actually cause any harm to the body. On the other hand, if the flame was small, the victim would burn for quite some time until death from hypovolemia, heat stroke, or decomposition. Heating things up to number 9. Well, things are already heated up, but we're now boiling. Boiling is this execution that the criminals would be stripped naked and then thrown into a cauldron full of boiling liquid or cold liquid, which would be then heated up to the point of boiling. Sometimes the executioner controlled the speed of boiling by raising or lowering the victim into the cauldron using ropes. Death would occur due to severe 4th-degree burns. Time to take a
People bring the reach out.
and we're talking about premature. So as the name suggests, it means getting buried alive. Yet your darkest nightmare was once a reality. The execution style was used as a punishment for dishonorable or shameful acts such as There isn't a lot of explanation needed for this technique. Basically, a hole was dug, and then the condemned was thrown into it and placed inside of a wooden coffin, and then there would be dirt thrown on top of the victim, and they would pretty much be completely buried. And then they would just be left there to die, most likely from suffocation or panic attack. Crucifixion makes this list at number 7. This is a slow and painful execution in which the victim is tied or nailed to a wood beam, and it is left to hang for several days until they die from exhaustion and asphyxiation. Crucifixion was often performed in order to discourage the witnesses from committing the same terrible crime. Victims were left on display after crucifixion was usually intended to provide a slow and painful death that was gruesome, humiliating. Okay, moving into number 6 with bamboo torture. This is a form of torture execution style. Where bamboo shoot is thrown through the body of the victim. The victim is tied securely in place above a young shoot and over the course the fast-growing and sharp bamboo puncture the body and then eventually penetrate the victim's body, emerging through the other side. We just have bamboo growing, bludgeoning him or her to death. The execution style was used from classical times into the 18th. This wheel was still used in the 19th century in Germany. So the victim's limbs would be tied into a spoke of the wheel and it would be slowly turned. Through the opening of the spoke, the torturer would hit the victim with an iron hammer in order to break his bones. Once the bones were broken, he was left on the wheel to die, and sometimes they would place the wheel on a tall pole, so then birds could just feed on their victim. I mean, the people that come up with these things are insane. Gnawing our way into number 4 with the cruel method.
Let's go somewhere not that crowded.
And it is often described as the most brutal torture technique ever devised. Rat torture involves live rats eating through the victim's flesh. A large pottery bowl filled with rats was placed out on the naked victim's body. A large amount of these red-hot charcoal was then piled on top of the bowl, which will gradually heat the air inside. The terrified rats would then gnaw through your outside. Victims would often die to the intense internal bleeding and septic shock from infected wounds.
No.
This loosely translates to death by a thousand cuts, and it is a more common.
Like, go ahead.
To remove of the body, and the flesh was cut into multiple slices over an extended period of time. This punishment was used for 3 reasons: as a form of public humiliation, as a slow and lingering death, and as a punishment after death, because cutting the body into pieces meant that the victim's body would not be whole in spiritual life after death. Okay, so things are they're just so gruesome. There's a lot of educational behind like what we used to do back then. Well, coming into number 2 on this list is hanged, drawn, and quartered. This is a statutory penalty in England that was used on men who was convicted of high treason, which means committing a crime that betrays one's country. This is like a capital punishment. Convicts were tied to a hurdle or wooden panel and dragged behind a horse to the place of execution, where they would be hanged almost to the point of death. They were then emasculated, disemboweled, beheaded, and quartered till chopped into 4 pieces. And finally, in at number 1, we have death by sawing. You can pretty much just tell by the name of this execution style, you pretty much saw a person in half, either vertically or horizontally. I don't really know who chooses. This incredibly cruel execution method was used mostly in medieval Europe. This is a single case in which people are hung upside down and then sawn apart vertically through the middle, starting from your bottom half and all the way to your head. Most of them were only slightly
Okay, guys.
There you go. Is this like the worst top 10, the most graphical top 10? Hopefully there's a you guys sleep tonight. But thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. So I know what you guys are thinking and what you guys are going to comment. Hey, how's it going, YouTube? I'm Landon Dallas, and welcome back to luxury prisons that actually exist, and that you would want to get. They split it among the day. I mean, I don't even get that. And they would be offered 100 different types of meats, drinks, and desserts. It's no surprise that the public was outraged when they found that their hard-earned tax money was used to feed criminals these kinds of meals that would normally be served in a 5-star restaurant. Dinner, and these criminals would be fed lobster tails. I mean, something is just not right. Things get even more out of hand in number 4 with the Justice Center in Lieben, Austria. The prisoners here are able to move around the building freely, and each prisoner has their own bathroom, kitchen area, and floor-to-ceiling windows that open up to a balcony. I mean, this sounds better than my condo in Toronto. This 5-star prison also has a gym, indoor court, and your cell comes with its own television. This sounds like every prisoner's dream to be locked up there. Alright, moving into number 3, we have Halden Prison in Norway. All of the prisoners here are assigned to their private cells that comes with a mini fridge, a flat screen TV, and an ensuite bathroom. These criminals, their cells don't even have bars on their windows, so it can allow in for more light. Oh, and this prison, has a recording studio, huge library, expensive gym, and a rock climbing wall. Norway has a very low crime rate, and they believe that if you treat prisoners well, they will less likely to reoffend when they are released. Something tells me I would commit a crime to just enjoy all that again. Helsinki, Finland, which makes it onto this list at number 2. This is the world's only open prison where there aren't gates, locks, or uniforms. The prisoners earn about $8 an hour, they have cell phones, they go into town to grocery shop, and they get vacation time each year. I mean, what? Is this a prison? To go to school instead of working. They even get to take supervised camping and fishing trips. I mean, this just sounds... They have it good in that prison. A prison. Finally, in at number 1 spot is Bøystøy Prison in Norway. Apparently this jail feels more like a resort, and it is situated on 1 square mile island that is full of beautiful scenery. There's a beach where the prisoners can sunbathe in the summertime, they can fish, and there's even a sauna, there's a tennis court. I'm Landon Dallasing, and welcome back to a brand new video. If you guys haven't already, head over to mostamazingshop.com and purchase your merch. We're doing a huge giveaway right now. If you guys buy any merch, take a picture of yourselves wearing it, send it in to us, you guys can possibly win $200. We're gonna pick a couple winners. If there's a lot of people buying it, we're gonna choose like several winners for this contest. So head over to rape is a very common wounded as a result of jail violence.
Welcome one and all to another Most Amazing Top 10 video. I do hope you're doing well. I'm just doing dandy. Thanks very much for asking. My name is Danny Berg and I've been looking at some pretty scary gangs from all over the world recently. There's a lot of them out there, too many to count in fact, but I've tried to narrow them down a bit for you today with our top 10 most dangerous gangs ever. If you're sitting comfortably, then we're going to kick things off now with our number 10, the Yakuza. The Yakuza are Japan's most notorious gang. With over 100,000 members, the gang is at least 150 years old and has an iron grip on the territory it holds. Despite members using extortion, fraud, blackmail, drugs, violence and the media as forms of control.
How do you keep joining?
Not an illegal group. They have deep ties with politicians and the government is very cautious about driving them underground where they won't be able to monitor or regulate them. Some people say it's how freely and openly they can operate that actually makes them so dangerous. Moving on to number 9 now, we have the Mungiki. This is one of Kenya's most brutal gangs. Little is known about them, but what is known is that they hold on to large parts of Kenya through violence and extortion of civilians, and they aren't afraid of the law punishing them either, because they've also been responsible for killing hundreds of police officers.
There is also a corruption problem, so the inmates with more power have surrendered.
Welcome one and all. $1 million a year. They're technically not an illegal group. They have deep ties with politicians and the government.
How's it going, all you most amazing people? I'm Landon, and welcome back to a brand new video. It's really crazy to think that there are around 1 million kids who are actually in prison in the United States alone. I have watched many documentaries of these teenagers committing horrible crimes and receiving life sentences. It's really sad when you think about it. So this right here is the toughest kids-only prison. Okay, so if you guys haven't already, check out our Inform Overload channel. It's nearing a 1 million subscribers. We really want to get the plaque. I think any day now we're going to hit the 1 million subscribers. Super exciting. So if you guys haven't already, check out the IO channel where we talk about the most trending things, we talk about news, and the host over there is really awesome as well. And I'll put the link to that channel in the description below. So enough of all that, it is time to strip off all your clothes and your dignity in at number 10. We have a Walnut Grove Correction Facility that was actually shut down. This was a privately run prison. The prison was only ran by gangs, including with corrupt prison guards. The juvenile facility was opened up in 2001 and was closed in 2016, so that was pretty recent. One of the businessmen in charge of the prison was convicted on 49 federal counts of bribery, and he received $1.47 million for more than a decade. He's been making over $1 million off of these kids. Although this facility is no longer in operation, it still owes the state $121 million, and it has an absolute and an unconditional obligation to pay that debt back, however they're gonna do it. Next up, number 9, Cuyahoga County Juvenile Jail, which prison guards forces the inmates to fight for their entertainment. Take a look at this video right here. They captured these inmates fighting each other in the yard, and you can see the prison guards in the last who isn't doing much but like just watching. Guards have been taking inmates into this room so they can fight it out, because this room, it actually lacks cameras and they know this. Right now we can barely see what is happening. This video footage was made public and it started an investigation. It was proven that it was all true about the guards making inmates fight each other just for their entertainment, for their pleasure. They had a night called Fight Night. It's actually really sickening. These juvenile prisons get even tougher at number 8. So now we're going from a brawl to a death. I mean, is this real life right now? Aren't police and prison guards supposed to be protecting citizens even if they're in prison? Well, the justice system has failed in this case, because this right here is 17-year-old Lord Revel, who was involved in the Miami-Dade Juvenile Detention Center. The Lord has had a rough childhood. He was a foster kid who got locked up for committing too many crimes. I know how bad the foster care system is because I was in one. I've had some pretty abusive foster parents as well. I've been talking about some of that on the vlog channel if you guys want to check that out, Landon Vlog. So a Lord was beaten up so badly in prison, he was sent to the hospital where he later died from his injuries. He was actually the second child that died in the prison, so now there's an investigation by both Miami and the juvenile justice. We're going to have to find trouble. Why? Well, trouble is going to find you. So we have Woodland Highland Hills Youth Development Center in Nashville. This is a very dangerous prison, and I'm not sure how secure it really is because 32 teenagers were able to escape from prison. So all of these teenagers escaped at night, all at once. I mean, I'm not sure how something like this happened. I'm not sure how prison guards were able to, like, not see a mob of people just walking out of prison. Why are they not locked up in their cell? Most of these teenagers were recaptured. 7 teens actually remained on the run past 24 hours. Like, these are dangerous people just walking out of prison. Why are they not locked up in their cell? Most of these teenagers were recaptured. On the run past 24 hours. Like, these are dangerous people.
Nice lag.
Teens actually remained on the run past 24 hours. Like, these are dangerous people just out there going crazy. Moving into number 6, we have some. Most of these teenagers were recaptured. 7 teens actually remained on the run past 24 hours. Like, these are dangerous people just out there going crazy. Moving into number 6, we have South Carolina Penitentiary, where a 14-year-old was executed. I mean, wow, just watching that clip and seeing how young that boy is, it just gives me shivers. It really does. This is a sad story. South Carolina Penitentiary has been around for over 130 years. 243 people have been executed by the electric chair in the prison, and the boy you just saw was 14-year-old George Stinney. This kid was convicted of murder, but after 70 years, it was proven that this kid actually didn't even kill anyone. I mean, that is just so messed up. At number 5, we have Dawndale Detention Center, which is a place where kids have been tortured. So the video footage I'm going to show you guys is of a 14-year-old boy who's locked away in this room. So the room is big, it has no air in it, there's no airflow, and it seems to be very hot. The boy was put there, and he doesn't know why he's in there or for how long he's in there. This boy has been going crazy in his cell. This would make anyone go crazy, and this just isn't right. Jackson's County Family Justice Center comes into this list at number 4. A 16-year-old girl was killed at this center. The guards have been covering up on what actually happened to the 16-year-old girl. An investigation was started to find answers. Prison guards said that the teen was complaining about not feeling well, and they said they checked up on her 6 times within a span of about 1 hour. Well, during the last check-in, the girl wasn't responding, and that's when they found her dead in her cell. This girl was charged with a misdemeanor, and after just 1 day of being in the center, she died. After investigation, it was found out that the girl wasn't listening to staff members' instructions, so they had to restrain her, and then they just threw her into the cell. Well, obviously there was too much force used on her because there was complications, and she died in her cell. 2 staff members lost their jobs in the wake of the incident, and another has resigned. I tried to look to see if any of these people was arrested for this murder, and I actually couldn't find any information. Maybe all the information is just kept with them. Number 3, we have Palm Beach Regional Juvenile Detention Center, where a boy was found dead. I mean, is this real life right now? What the heck is going on at this juvenile detention center? And why are there deaths? After the investigation, it was found that staff have been improperly in contact with these young kids, and they have been abusing them. They have been abusing them so badly that it actually resulted in death. This facility is now known for its abuse towards minors. A federal survey found out that nearly a third of the boys at the facilities were victims of sexual abuse as well. Well, right now the place isn't shut down, but something tells me that now that all this information has become public, that it's going to shut down pretty soon. Moving into number 2, we have Curran Fromhold Correction Facility in Philadelphia. They have been beat up inmates. Wow, it just seems like out of nowhere, this officer started to beat up that inmate. I'm not sure if the inmate provoked the officer, but you're an officer of the law. You should just tell him to turn around, handcuff him, and just bring him back to his cell. There's no need for exchange of like abuse. And I'm not even sure if this guy was taken to the facility's nurses to get checked out. The officers probably just don't even care about them. Probably just threw this guy back in his cell. Fend for yourself, boy. At number 1, we have the worst place of them all, Rikers Island Prison Complex. Back in 2010, a 16-year-old boy was arrested in the Bronx for allegedly stealing a backpack. Well, I feel so sorry for this kid because he was actually sent to the worst juvenile prison. At Rikers Island's Prisons Complex, police are very corrupt and they often brutally beat up inmates. The officers would bring these inmates to a place where they know or where they think that there's no cameras. Well, investigators actually got a hold of these video footages of these officers bringing these kids to their hideout spots and just beating the crap out of them. Here's one of the footage of the kid I was talking about, the kid who was put to prison for stealing a backpack. This kid can't even defend himself because He is handcuffed. He poses no threat. Why is he being beaten up? In this prison, there's always huge prison fights. This is for sure a place that I don't want to be in for just stealing a backpack. This kid actually ended up being in prison for 3 years, and he actually wasn't the person who stole the backpack in the first place. This is just so stupid, and I feel so bad for him. Well, there you guys have it. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys very soon in a brand new one.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Charlie here, and today we're going to be looking at 10 kids who went to jail for crazy reasons. Thousands of people are sent to jail or prison every year, and normally we think that prisoners are scary, tough adults. But what if they were just cute kids? These are 10 kids who did shocking things and were sent to jail because of them. Before we get into it, leave a like and subscribe, and comment I subscribed, and I'll try to reply. Coming in at number 10, we have Zachary Neagle. This is one of the most baby-faced criminals you'll ever see. In 2009, Zachary Neagle fired a shotgun at his son's head while he was sleeping on the couch in their family room. Images of him in a yellow and orange jumpsuit looking criminals you'll ever see. In 2009, Zachary Neagle fired a shotgun at his father's head while he was sleeping on the couch in their family room. Images of him in a yellow and orange jumpsuit looking frightened went viral, as this is such a shocking crime. And the fact that Zachary at the time was only 14 years old made his crime even more outrageous. He sat silently looking at his lawyer throughout the whole trial. While in court, he was chained up with handcuffs on his arms and a metal brace around his waist. He also had another chain attaching his waist to his handcuffs. He was sentenced to 96 years behind bars for what he did. Some people thought this was way overboard and felt sorry for Zachary, and it was suspected that his father had been being nasty towards him in some way, and he believed he had to take action against his father to protect his siblings. It's unknown whether this is true or not, but what do you think? Should Zach have gone to jail, or is he way too young? One thing's for sure, he looks terrified of prison in those images. We're not sure if it was due to the guilt of his crime or the fear of him being locked up. Next up is Lionel Tate. This criminal kid is very unique. The reason why is because he is the youngest ever kid to be given a life sentence. When he was just 12 years old, he was asked to babysit 6-year-old Tiffany Eunice. The kids ate dinner and were watching TV when suddenly they began wrestling, likely not with Tiffany's consent. Lionel was 170 pounds, while Tiffany was just 48 pounds. This meant he easily beat her and caused her to pass away. He headlocked her and smashed her head into the side of a table when suddenly she stopped breathing. An expert said the fight was an equivalent of a fall from a 5-story building thanks to the injuries caused. The jury was shocked by Lionel as he pled innocent. However, this didn't fool the jury and he was sentenced to life with no parole. Lionel cried when he was given his sentence, but Tiffany's family were happy that justice was served. Is this life sentence too far for a 12-year-old, or is it justified due to what he did? Next up is Petri Kurti. This boy is the youngest person to take someone else's life in the UK. And what's odd is that the person who passed away at Petri's hands was not another vulnerable kid, but a fully grown woman. He was caught on surveillance footage stomping on 47-year-old Glynis Bensley's face. He then boasted to his friends about the attack. He stamped on her face so hard a footprint mark could be seen on her cheek. However, the judge said Petri had a crazy home life, and his parents didn't seem to care about rules or any responsibilities. The passing of Glynis apparently began as a robbery, but it went wrong, and Petri began to stamp on her. He was sentenced to a minimum of 12 years with good behavior, but really, what are the chances of that, seeing as he's off the rails? His 20-year-old accomplice named Zoheb Majid was also sentenced to 12 years for manslaughter and robbery. In some cases on this list, you can end up feeling bad for the kids, and you're not sure if their punishments are too harsh. But in this case, I can't see any good in this kid, and he seems to be totally criminal. Maybe I'm being too harsh, but I'm sure a lot of you guys will agree when I say it's a good thing this guy is off our streets. Next up is Alex King. This is one of the most bizarre cases on this list, and it may leave you guys kind of torn when deciding if Alex King
I see people.
he did or not.
I see people destroying trees. Doghouse.
His neighbor
Sorry about my voice.
for months before Ricky apparently urged Alex to hit his father with a metal baseball bat
Oh my lord.
to pass away. In court,
One,
he denied being in a
two.
relationship with Alex, but admitted telling him to take the baseball bat.
Nope.
His father was
He missed that.
most
Nope.
also said he did illegal substances with Ricky and played video games with him at his house a lot before causing his father
This man needs some serious help.
prison, while Ricky was sentenced to 14 years. Ricky was also convicted of trying to cover up the crime, washing Alex's clothing which had evidence on it. Alex is now named guilty and he says he misses his dad sometimes, but wants to move on. So, was Alex tricked and manipulated? Exactly what is going on. Next up is Jack but that's an 11. She showed up the world, and not looking at a great selfie. She took her life with her newborn son, who was 19. She pleaded not guilty, but the judge said she knew exactly what she was doing and how wrong it was. She showed them and shook their heads and tried court. She gave birth secretly on a random street for a society for a second. Dad's girlfriend's life, and everybody else's in his sentence, and it's speculated he is now not a danger. However, some people are and innocent, and a lot of the time they are. But there are a few children and teenagers who turned out to be some of the most dangerous people on the planet. Get ready for your jaw to drop when you see what these seemingly innocent children have done. But first, press the subscribe button, and why not press the notification bell too. Coming in at number 10, we have Morgan Giza and Anissa Wire. Creepypastas are fake horror stories spread online that can sometimes be pretty scary, but at least they're not in the real world, right? Well, in 2014, two 12-year-old girls brought what was a scary story for entertainment into reality. They spent a year planning to sacrifice someone with the hopes they would please Slender Man. So, one Saturday, the two girls named Morgan and Anissa convinced one of their middle school classmates to go into the woods where they lived in Wisconsin. They tried to take the girl named Peyton Lutner's life with a knife. When they thought they were done, they walked away, leaving Peyton in the woods. However, Peyton miraculously lived and was able to call to a local house to call for help. She was in hospital for a few days and thankfully made a full recovery. Afterwards, the creator of Slender Man actually gave his condolences as to what happened and gave Peyton some money. The two girls were sentenced to prison time at first, but this was later changed to 25 years in a mental home. Some were angry at this, saying they should be in jail forever. What do you think about this crazy event of a fake scary story turning real? One thing for sure, it makes Morgan and Anissa two of the most dangerous children ever to live. Next up, we have Girl A. On June 1st, 2004, a girl who can legally only be referred to as Girl A took the life of her fellow classmate. At 11 years old, Girl A used a knife on Satomi Mitsuri, who was also 11 at the time. It happened at an elementary school in Sasebo, Japan. The girl is kind of a mystery, as she was only 12, meaning that by Japanese law she couldn't be photographed or named. However, I'm not in Japan, so I can tell you her name is actually Natsumi. A teacher found out about what she did pretty soon, and after she was taken to a police station. She spent the night saying, "I'm so sorry" to the police and crying. But why did such an innocent girl do this? Well, apparently Satomi had called Natsumi a goody-goody, which was a reference to her weight. Believe it or not, all she was sentenced to was 2 years in a mental home. This became a Japanese meme as the reason why they should lower the age for criminal responsibility. Now, I'm no expert on this, but I'm sure a lot of you are. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'm personally torn, as some people say she didn't know what she was doing down to her age, but others disagree. Next up is the Beaver Brothers. This one took place in July 2015 in Oklahoma. Two brothers named Robert, who was 18, and Michael, who was 16, took the life of their entire family. This included their parents and 2 out of their 4 siblings with a knife. But that's not all. What they were plotting was way worse. They were plotting a mass life to gain fame. Believe it or not, this is the motivation behind many criminals, which is why some news outlets like Philip DeFranco and more don't show the criminals' faces. The brothers were called the most evil brothers in America by the press and were sent to jail. But why did the brothers not take the lives of all of their siblings and only 2 out of 4? Well, they first took their mom and dad, and they did the same with their 12-year-old brother Daniel. 7-year-old Christopher and 5-year-old Victoria met the same fate. They then tried to do the same to their 13-year-old sister, but failed, and even told her they did the same to their 2-year-old sister as well. However, the 2-year-old was left unharmed and was taken into foster care. This sure is one crazy story of 2 very dangerous brothers.
Alright, we're landing. Now where are we going? Oh, there's a chest in here. Wait, dance if you already completed week 4 challenges. Dance if you're still working on week 4. There's a... Wait, jump if you can hear me. Jump if you can hear me. Wait, go. Jump if you can hear me. Jump if you can hear me. Oh my god, jump if you can hear me. Hold on, are you in a party? You have to be in a party. Oh yeah. Use your shotgun. What are you doing? You are so bad. He had to use his shotgun. Are you serious? You're so bad. Since when do you ever not use a shotgun? You should have used a shotgun. Oh my god, we could have easily got that. Oh my god, I'm not so bad, I swear. See, you can't even listen. I see jump. See, you dance. I never even said anything. Dance if you can hear me. See, you can't hear me, so why? God. There's never a time when you actually can listen.
No, I mean, you don't take it out of the What the fuck happened to these bananas? Come on, you got time to go.
Where?
Cool, I told you 12 o'clock. I got home late. Come on, hurry up, let's go.
We'll have to leave.
Get something to eat when we get there.
Oh, pool. The pool's so big.
You're gonna wear for football also. Mom's gonna pick you up after.